You know the thing come from UPK in I building just like the girl them and I the liquor. She know want me no friend of mine. She wants skin out on the bed of mine. She have good brain blind. She come raise the Beretta 9. Make she come we ahead that time. She get good day plus a better night. He say who for party that never mind. We not fit cap, but blood clot killers go ask me cap. Thing I attack me pass me counselor. General ya and I'm the done yet don't figure. This them man they get spread out for that. Hey boy cross the line of all idiot. Make some bumbo clock gun shot let off in ya. The truth never change, no care much time elapse. The work up routine, me dark we not relax. Me general set the thing and it a grow. Some fool never loyal, them never true to the thing and it a show. Me know a couple things for sure. I pack a girl but never touch her out. Which church boy can hey, she don't want me no friend of mine. She wants skin out but me say who for body that she say yes I'm mine. She want real killer. Boy run up, man, fool him clad. Jump, get up, run like old him fast, pass over. Me not jump, but still me not swim. Body run pack a punch and sting just like cobra. At 3,000, yeah. Me take a coat too late to start to over. I'm a damn Shabbat. Alright, she know want me. No friend of mine, she wants skin out on the better mind. She have good brain plus a better mind. Me say who for body that she say yes I'm mine. She come raise the Beretta 9. Me make she come way at that time. She get good days, better night. Me say who for body that never mind.
All right, clap it up. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Hey, shalom,
Yeah,
go on.
You tell
Shalom,
me. If you tell me.
It's rough, Cap. Rough.
Yeah, it rough for them. Not me.
Right.
You know I mean, not me and you. We good to go. You know what I mean? The ones who wanna, you know what I mean? Who's the Bible says the synagogue was Satan. I mean, rough for them now. You know
right.
Yeah. Everybody's, you know, be you until the, you know what I mean, till pressure comes.
God.
You know what I mean? No, handle the pressure. Handle the pressure. Come on.
Exactly. Till a time for face the judgment of the Lord, you know what I mean? Where we are so accustomed and familiar with. Now the Jewish man have faced film judgment. You understand? You must us deal with it. So,
you have to deal with it.
Definitely
got to deal with it. All them nations, the Lord is going to bring down there in the Middle East. You understand? And now, while that happening, we are so destroyed right now. We're fitting to show you all, you know what I mean, something, and you're going to be asking yourself, what the hell is going on with Israel?
Right.
You know what I mean? And just one word. Oppression. That's what's going on with Israel. We are oppressed, just like we were oppressed in Egypt. You understand? Find plus do the intro first.
Got one can.
I try to jump straight into it. I'm hyped. You know what
I
I mean?
understand. I understand. Got one can. So this is the Breakdown podcast, you know what I mean, where we break down the strongholds holding back the children of Israel here in Jamaica,
that's right,
Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, North, Central, and South America. You understand? And if for those who may have not known, the children of Israel are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand?
Right.
We are the real Israelites and the real Jews. You understand? Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
So, like, yeah, as I said, that, sir, remember the flesh pot precept.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Okay, not so much, because that is to show how greedy the oppressor is. You understand?
Right.
Like our hunger. Okay, it ain't so much that we're greedy, but the way we act is like him because of oppression. You understand what I'm saying? That whole flesh pot was him. Just he gives, okay, whatever gain he has to gain from it at that point in time, he's going to consider it and he's going to take it. If there's no gain from it, then he somehow forgets he just made a deal. He just signed a contract. You understand? And you know what I mean? This whole war shows you, like, give you the real spirit of the oppressor. I mean, and the Bible tells us about his spirit, but now actually seeing it with your own eyes, seeing it play out, you know what I mean, is making it so much, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, you gain so much, how to put it, I want to say joy to, you know what I mean, to know that what you was doing for all these years, and brothers and sisters watching you and saying you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, you this, you that, you know what I mean, now it's coming to life with what we're saying. Yeah, we've been saying on the Command Hannah that there is going to be a war. This war is to free you, according to the Bible. We've been telling you that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? But people, brothers and sisters, didn't understand it, and they thought we were crazy. You understand? They thought they could have go make a deal with the white man, and I mean everything is fine. But nah, you cannot make a deal with him. If you make a deal with him, it's because it profits him. If there's a day that comes that our deal does not profit him, then he will act as if there was no deal made. So come on.
If I may, yeah, I understand that. Never had talk about the Esau and the red pottage. I talk about the flesh pots in Egypt. You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of one.
Yes.
That one would be too.
Yes.
Yeah,
but give me the one I talk about in Exodus, because the reason why we could correlate with what's going on in Exodus is because we were the people in Egypt. You know what I mean? Don't let none of historians try to fool you and tell you that you wasn't in Egypt. You didn't build the pyramid. You built them pyramids for them Africans and them. You did it. You were there in Egypt. Don't let them fool you. The oppressor, he wasn't there. Just think about it this way. Can the oppressor work hard like any one of us? When I say any one of us, the blacks, Hispanics, or First Nation people, he cannot. You put the oppressor in the fields picking cotton, he's going to fall out. Let's build a pyramid with no straw, and what is Pharaoh say? Let them go make bricks.
Lucky, I'm saying. I'll get them one straw.
Yeah. You think the white man could have did that? Hell no. You know what I mean? The amount of work you have to put in, he's not doing that. He's not.
Got
You understand? Yeah, you have it?
Salakia, in particular, which one did I refer to, sir? Salakia.
The one where he said, let us deal wisely with them. Let us deal wisely with them. Mm-hmm.
All
right. And then I'm gonna get this joint queued up. All right.
Gun. This is the book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 10. And it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest
Let
they
us deal
multiply.
what?
Wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them.
Right.
That is what, you know what I mean? That is what is being said. Let us deal wisely with them. That's what Pharaoh was saying. And to this day, okay, we're in the Caribbean and we are separated by nationality. What do I mean by nationality? And go ahead.
Sir, what the oppressor, you know what I mean, name us, meaning like the land in Trinidad, Barbados, Cuba.
Yes.
I mean, these identities given to us by the oppressor.
Yes. And then he conditioned us with these sports. The only sports in the Caribbean that bring all the Caribbean island together is what?
Cricket.
It's cricket. You understand? That's the only sport that bring us together as a people. You understand? Right. Every other sport, when it comes to track and field, you know what I mean, football, right? You separate the island.
Right.
You understand? You separate us. You separate us. So now a Jamaican, he proud because what? He had reggae music. He had this.
Yeah.
A Trini, he proud because he had soca. He had this. When you're the same people, why not be proud to be the same people?
Right.
You understand? Like, be proud of that. But he done dealt wisely with us and came and did what? Instead of us knowing that we all Israelite, we from the tribe of Benjamin, we had him come in and tell us, nah, you Jamaican, you Trini, you Bajan, you Guyanese, you Grenadian. So now we look at each other as being separate, different people. You understand? Right? Now, read on.
Salakia, verse 9 kind of give you the context, right? It said,
go ahead.
He said, talking about Pharaoh, unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Verse 10, come and let us deal wisely with them.
And now today, England and who? And America, right? They're so wisely with us. They now have us doing what? Have us looking fighting, not just fighting, but have our women's thinking about what? Abortion. Have our men thinking about abortion. So now we numbers start doing what? Going down. Dwindling. You understand? Like, they're dealing wise with us. Remember, back in Egypt, it's like what? We more than them. So we would have what? In their mind, we would try to do what? Overthrow them. Right. You understand? When brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, we don't think like the oppressor. The oppressor always thinking about doing what? Oppressing you. Right. And if you creep up on him, he gonna make sure and hit you back down to let you know what time it is. You understand? The IMF does have a stranglehold on Jamaica, a stranglehold on the Caribbean. That is not done just by mistake. It's done on purpose.
Right.
You understand? Those things are done on purpose so that Jamaicans never rise up, so that Trinidadians never rise up. And brother, little did I know, also too, brother, little did I know, right? Now, you would think, right? You would think that that the East Indian and the no, hold on. Let me get this fair. I hope we don't get knockouts here, but brother, let me get this fair.
Got one gun. So like, in the meanwhile, everybody watching, remember to stop up the screen. You know what I mean? Like, share. You know what I mean? Leave your comments in the chat, depending on the platform you're watching that. This is a breakdown podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. I can play it, sir.
No, remember, right? They said it dealt what? Wisely with us. And them timing, our oppressors was what? The Egyptians.
God.
Today, our oppressors are who? The so-called
oppressor,
white
the white man.
You understand? Now listen to this good, right? And this comes from one of your scholars, right? Sachs, right? This comes from one of your scholars, right? So now hold on. Let's play this here.
That's true if the world go back to the British.
I'll get it from the
That's true if all problems in the world go back to the British. That's true in Pakistan, India. That's true in China. That's true throughout the Middle East. That's true here in Cyprus, because they were the most powerful empire for 200 years, and they left behind conflicts everywhere. You know, the disaster taking place in Palestine right now, one of the reasons is that between 1915 and 1917, the British promised the same territory to 3 different groups. So first in the McMahon communications,
you understand what's taking place. No, he didn't call it Caribbean. He didn't call it Caribbean. You understand? Why? Because to them, we are like we like nobody to them. Because they're not even correlating what they're trying to do to the Palestinians is what they did to who? Black people in the Caribbean. What it did to the black people in America. What it did to the Native Indians in America. They're not even correlating that to what they're doing right now in the Middle East. Right. Why? Because we conquered. And we done, how to put it, we done embedded ourselves with them. But guess what they did? Remember, they said we was free. But they went and bring who? The East Indians on the island as indentured laborers. That will cause conflict. Why? Because you're 2 different people. And now when you have 2 different people, what's going to start happening? If you have different people on the island.
You have competition for resource.
That's it. And then one more than likely is going to what? Get over the other.
Right.
And now you're definitely now going to have conflict. So now instead of you trying to figure out who you are, what's happening to you? What's happening to you right now? Give me 1 minute. Yeah, so take it. Give me 1 minute.
Got one gun. So like what Kappa said, you know what I mean? All of this, you know what I mean, done to us was by our oppressor. You know what I mean? Eventually, if you have 2 different people on one island, you know what I mean? I would know the Indians them came here as indentured servants. You understand? To Jamaica and Trinidad, Guyana, so forth. See? Eventually, we who already is at a disadvantage because we came here in shackles, we were stripped of our culture, identity, language, and even deprived after them so-called give freedom. See? we are going to be oppressed by the ones them who come here with them culture intact. You know what I mean? So when the fight for resource take place now, we are going, you know what I mean? We are going to be the ones who under the foot of not only the oppressor, but who the oppressor put here. You know what I mean? Like the East Indians and so forth. You understand? But like what Kappa said earlier, them don't make the same correlation, you know what I mean, with the happenings in Palestine, with what is going on with black people here in the Caribbean, that it is them who cause us to be in the situation that we are in. You know what I mean? They are the ones who have destroyed us so much, you know what I mean, and trodden us underfoot so much that you see lines like this at KFC. It put in our spirit, a mindset, you know what I mean, that any little thing benefit that comes to us, we have to fight each other for it. Because we have been fighting for resources over here from we got over here. You know what I mean? Cap, him have a study where him do, you know what I mean, where it says if you put 2 hungry dogs in a cage, see, and you throw a piece of steak or a piece of meat, some form of food in that cage, the first, you know what I mean, thought that comes to that hungry dog's mind, you know, is not the food, you know, is how him go kill that other dog so that him can get the food for himself. It's kind of that spirit we have over here in this captivity. You know what I mean? In a sense where KFC, them have them 50th anniversary, right? And them claim say, boy, if you buy a 3-piece, you will get 2-piece free. See? In our mind, you know what that spark? We have to get there early so that we can get, you know what I mean, our 2-piece extra chicken. That's how we put in our mind, you know. Say, we have to beat the next black man to the punch to get 2, not bearing in mind that the whole day is KFC's 50th anniversary. So like, yeah, we're not ready for jump back in, yeah. You know what I mean? We kind of see the point where I get at. Your mic, sir. Remember, you get up on mute, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah.
No. You hit it on the head. Because and you started explaining to them what we watching and what we looking at here.
Yeah, the kind of venture off in it. But briefly, sir, but you can go ahead and elaborate.
Right. You know what I mean? And what we're looking at here right now is the fact that in Jamaica, I believe KFC had their anniversary. And on their anniversary, they told black people that they were going to get 2 extra pieces of chicken. You understand? This is the chaos it caused. You understand? This is the chaos it caused. Why? Because we are being oppressed in this place. You know what I mean? People want, you know what I mean, they like to say we're making excuses. But this is not excuses. This is reality. The reality is black people are being oppressed. And this ain't no, you know what I mean? This ain't no light thing. You know what I mean? Because tell me, I don't know if you could you could try and, you know what I mean, look it up now. What's the average US dollar Jamaicans living on per day? You understand? What's the average per dollar? You know what I mean? Jamaicans living on. And I believe your money is $1 US to $122 Jamaican dollars.
150 or 50 odd no, sir.
150 Jamaican. What the hell is that? So you telling me your paper is worth less than this paper? I thought paper is paper.
Right.
Who give money that type of value? You think the oppressor care about value? He has a printer. Who's stopping him from printing money? But you better not print your own money. You better not, you know what I mean, just start printing. You cannot. You understand? The day you start printing, the day you get rich like the white man, because he done turn paper into what? Into some value. When there ain't value. You understand? Your resources that you have is value. That's why they're talking about Jamaica having, you know what I mean, a ton of oil around the island that they're fitting to go export out the country. They knew it was there all the time, but the IMF had to put Jamaicans in debt to the point now where they had coming in, and guess what? Your prime minister had no choice but to give up that oil money. He has no choice but to give up that oil money while people starve in the country. What are these people getting on for food? For extra piece of chicken? That's ridiculous. So, you understand? And then you have these preachers, you know what I mean, singing lullabying you to sleep. Right? Come on.
So like, I'm gonna have it yet, sir. Give me a second.
Okay. Right? Like we go how to wake up. Like, just imagine about 5,000 miles across the sea in the Middle East, there's a war taking place. You understand? Them Palestinians starving for food, and we acting like we living like the Palestinians. You know what I mean? You lining up for chicken like this. Now, what is your leaders doing in Jamaica? That's the question I'm asked. What are your leaders doing for us? You know what I mean? Like black people saying we shame bad. You shame these people hungry. What you gonna do? These people hungry. You understand? They know what they're doing. And also too, they did studies. They have studies on these things. They have studies on these things already. But we don't know it. Why? Because if we know these things, you know what I mean, black people start putting 2 and 2 together and realize their condition, they can't be blamed for this condition, the condition they're in. You understand? They are hungry, and they would rather go stand up outside KFC. But the problem is there's nobody to put them in order. And that's what leadership was. That's what you have leadership for. To make some type of order. You have to know your people, which means your government, they're not in tune with the people. They're not in tune. Because they know if they were in tune with the people, they know if KFC does this, they're gonna need personnel there to do what? Just to keep the order. You understand? I know that I know you're trying to get this chicken. You know, we're gonna have to stand in line. You know what I mean? And this is gonna have to be done in order.
Right.
But when hunger taking place here, you know what I mean? Now, let's see this. You tell me when it gets it, right?
May I have something, sir?
Tell me.
So this said the average monthly salary in Jamaica is around 150,000 to 200,000, which translates to approximately 975 to 1,300 USD. So they are saying that the
a month
average per month gone. So and you know what I mean, this figure look highly inflated to me because you know what I mean, the minimum wage, which is the majority of jobs here in Jamaica, like 80% of the jobs available here in Jamaica are minimum wage, sir. See? Minimum wage, here it says the minimum wage as of June 1st, 2025, the national minimum wage in Jamaica is 16,000. You know what I mean? So 16,000 don't work out, you know what I mean, on average to 200 and 150,000.
Right, on average, right? And it says like 150. Let's say it's 150 to $1, right? So that means your average, you say 16,000, right?
God.
So yeah,
that would be $100. That would be $100, so 100 US.
100 US or what?
A week.
Oh boy.
God. Per 40-hour work week. God.
Boy. Yeah, that's ridiculous. God. Now, look, could you read what you're seeing here?
Can. Start at the top.
Yeah.
Can. When you separate two hungry dogs in a cage and then release them with a piece of meat placed between the cages, several things can happen, and the outcome heavily depends on the individual's personality the individual personalities of the dogs and their history. Here's a breakdown of potential scenarios and important considerations.
Right.
1, resource guarding and potential aggression. Food is a highly valuable resource for dogs.
Now, you understand? They know that's the same thing for what? For people. Like you starve a population out. You understand? You starve them. Now, what they also say too is, like, when a population is starving, that's the time they come together. But you starve them just enough and put things in place where one group gets over the other group. Right. You understand? And then the group that get over the other group, they eating good. They ain't worrying about the group below, like your government. You understand? They ain't no way in tune with the people below them, with the people that living in that poverty, you know what I mean, under that poverty, that line, I like to call it. Now, what's going to happen? Now, read on.
Can. Food is a highly valuable resource for dogs, and they may become possessive, especially when hungry.
You understand? You can imagine you go there for food. You see a line. In your mind, what's taking place in your mind? I might get no food. I'm how to get aggressive for this shit, you know. I'm how to get aggressive. And then you start seeing, you know what I mean? You start seeing them argue and fight and bicker. Why? Because they're trying to guard the food that they need. They're more likely have kids home saying, "Mommy, I'm hungry. What we going to eat today?" You understand? What we going to eat today, Mommy? I know, or Daddy. I know you had to go and get food. These people know what they're doing to us, man. They know what they're doing to us. Like, there's no way you should be in want of food on an island. You understand? There's no need. And then the franchise is owned by who? By the white man.
By the oppressor.
You understand? And when I say the franchise, not meaning that building, but KFC is a franchise, and you have to pay for the right to have that. But that money, a portion of that money has to go to where? To the owner of the entire franchise. We did the research and we saw that what Pizza Hut is part of that franchise, and Taco Bell is part of that franchise also too. You understand? And they made it on purpose difficult for you to see who the owners is. They made it difficult on purpose. You understand? They made it difficult on purpose. And black people, we so hungry, we don't even try to wonder where the food coming from. We don't wonder where it coming from.
Right.
When there should be no KFC in the community unless it's owned and run by the people in the community.
Right.
You understand? Your people should be owning that franchise.
That's right.
Your people. Ain't no money supposed to be leaving the island and then going back to some man who's not even on the island. Because once that money go leave out of Jamaica, guess what? It ain't coming back in. They're not investing it back in the community. They're not. Which then you know, your government, they're not buying, they're not squeeze. You understand? Right. And it's England and America that causing all the confusion. The people hungry because they're being oppressed. You do the same thing in Trinidad, they're going to see the outcome. And these places I'm going to say these places, meaning KFC, right? These fast food joints being sit in places where there's a level of poverty. You understand? Where now the people who there, of course they're hungry. So they're, you gain them 2 extra pieces of chicken for the same price.
Of course, they're all taking.
For the same price. You better move out my way, Ark. You know what I mean? Finish reading this.
Sir. Separating dogs before introducing a high-value item like meat can create tension and trigger resource guarding behavior.
You understand? And that include us in a way where we are separated by religion, separated by, which is, belief. We separated by this whole voting, PLP, and what's the other one?
JLP, PMP.
Yeah. So now you separated. You think like an individual. You thinking, I to feed my kids. Well, then what about my kids too? Your kids. Your kids, they're hungry too. But the oppressor came in and separate us like that.
Yeah.
When we's one people. So why not try to take care of everybody?
Right.
You understand? Why not do it in order? You understand? But it ain't like that because of the church, because of Christianity, because of leadership. And this clearly shows that Black people, we don't have any leadership. In this oppression, we have none.
Right.
You understand? We are going to have to be able, even though we're hungry, to not act like this. Because you know who acts like that when he's hungry? Your oppressor. And he don't just act, he will unalive you.
Right.
You understand? He will unalive you, so there's no competition for food. He doesn't like that. Come on.
He will sell his birthright, the most important thing to him.
Yes. Yes. And we cannot be like that. We can't live like that.
Right.
You understand? Read on.
This can manifest as stiff body language. One or both dogs may tense up and stand over the meat.
Now, let's see if I have it right here. When you sent me that act, I was like, man, what is these two women trying to fight for?
Fighting for the meat.
Yeah, I was like, all this arguing for what? And I couldn't understand it. And it's like it's a frenzy.
God.
I mean almost to the point where what the hell are putting in that chicken act?
You have a song where actually goes so, sir. So like I would have pulled it up, but for copyright purposes.
Yeah. I seen the one though that you sent me with the woman. with the two sisters just full out arguing with each other. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up here. But that is the tense body they're talking about.
Right.
You understand? That's a straight up tense body where they, you know what I mean, they arguing over food.
You know what?
And hold on. I think needs it here. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Silaki.
It's almost they both see each other as a threat. You know what I mean? So it caused this tension between, you know what I mean, between the two women, because if this woman going before me, then me have to go wait longer. You know what I mean? For satisfy my hunger. So now she's a threat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She's now my enemy because she's trying to push past me to get the food before me. You know what I mean? And before you know it, this turned pandemonium outside. You know what I mean? And KFC get free advertisement. You know what I mean? You see a similar thing happen over there in the United States with our Judite brothers and sisters. We're concerned. So, you know what I mean? You have to wonder for real if where them are putting at the chicken, because, you know what I mean? Them really have our people, you know what I mean, a kind of way over supporting for them, you know what I mean, for them restaurants, for them business, them have us a fight to basically give them more money. You know what I mean? So,
brother, really I'm telling you, I do not know what it is, but they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You understand?
So like, yes, sir. I remember, I don't remember if you or General Ironman class, and them say at one point Coca-Cola actually had real cocaine in it.
Yeah.
Like Coca-Cola named Coke because them literally did put cocaine in Coca-Cola. So I would put nothing past the oppressor when it comes to them ingredients in some of them things, because you know what I mean? They don't see them don't care enough about black people to think about our safety. So
you're right. No, you're correct. You understand? But this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, come on.
You can hear it?
La, I can't hear it, sir.
Damn.
Check if you see a volume button at the bottom of the TikTok screen. In the meanwhile, remember to tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe, you know.
No, okay, I played from maybe I can't do it like that, but I played it from
a gallery. From gallery.
No, not from the from WhatsApp itself.
Okay, go on.
You understand? But that is the part there where it say with the stiff body language. And then there's another part where they say about growling and snapping, lunging, and then biting. That is the fights. You understand what I'm saying? Like they did studies on animals and they know what happens when you starve people and then you just put food in the middle. You understand? They do the same thing with rats. They did studies like this already. And they know that when they starve you like that, and then they come and put food in front of your face like that, you are going, that animal side, if you don't have any discipline or the proper leadership, you are going to go and fight each other like that.
And so like sir, if I may, is it also where the quality of the food, meaning or the status of the food, can also be a factor? Because everybody there who join that line, them have a lot of options, you know, meaning them can go to a cook shop, you know what I mean? Them can go anywhere, but because of being poor for so long, KFC kind of seem like a step up. And that step up, it different from we assuming that somebody put something in our chicken. Just the fact you can buy some KFC, it becomes like a must. You know what I mean? Because you remember one time a chicken back you used to have to eat. You know what I mean? You'd have to eat, you know what I mean? Poor people food one time.
Yeah.
So now buy KFC now is almost like a flex. And that flex in itself,
it's not so much a flex, is the fact that KFC, I believe, is cheaper than, you know, I mean, you going and buying from a mom's and pop's store, where their prices might have to be a little higher. You understand? Now, you going and buy from a mom's and pop's store, they can't compete with KFC. They can't compete with our franchise. Our franchise able to give you 2 extra pieces of chicken.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? You know how much chicken is that? You know how much chicken is that? Now, a mom's and pop's store, if you don't have the money, you can't just say, well, everybody gonna get extra 2 pieces of chicken because it's the anniversary. You're gonna go broke. But KFC ain't gonna go broke like that, because why? It's a franchise. And guess what? It's them promoting their food. You understand? And then they know that Black people suffering in Jamaica. They know Black people suffering in these ghettos. So of course they're going to entice you. It's the same thing with up here. You know what I mean? You have Jamaican food up here also too. But guess what? A Jamaican might just have KFC money. He can't buy his own Jamaican food. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the competition they done put on us. You understand what I'm saying? And now you're not buying, but we cannot act like this. And I bet if you go ask all of them if they believe in Jesus Christ being the Lord and Savior, they're gonna be yes. Them same people are gonna be in church on Sunday praising the Lord.
God, many of them are church people, Christians.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So now, what is you being taught in the Christian church?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it boils down to also to what? Leadership. But I still ain't gonna put that on us. It's because of oppression we acting like that. And then I'm gonna say because of these religions, we acting like that. Me and you will never act like that for no chicken out.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll faster give up with chicken than go act like that. We'll go in some line and try to beat you, you know what I mean, disrespect or degrade your sister or your brother just for an extra 2 pieces of chicken. We ain't doing that. And that's because we ain't Christians. And that's because we know a Black man or a Black woman life, you know what I mean, or integrity is more valuable than a piece of chicken. You understand? Christ doesn't tell you. Christ doesn't tell you already. In Matthew, give me that in Matthew 4. Give me where he said, man shall not live by bread alone.
God.
You understand? Like you're gonna have to show some type of discipline.
Right.
You understand? When it comes to food, we can't act like them. We cannot. You remember when we was in the wilderness and we was crying to the Lord for food? What he did? He sent food for us. Sent so much food for us. We was eating till it come through our nose, and then we started complaining again. You understand?
Right.
Right? Read that for me.
God, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God.
Right? That's what we would understand. You ain't gonna live by 2 extra pieces of chicken alone. That's not how you're gonna live. And you shouldn't carry about yourself like that. I know we poor, I know we starving, but we're gonna have to show some type of discipline, some type of order. We can't act like that. When we act like that, we give the oppressor the opportunity to see, these are a bunch of animals. You understand? It's his fault, nonetheless.
Right.
But we can't show him that type of behavior. You understand? We cannot. Right? Any more on that?
No, so that was it.
Right?
Matthew
And
4.
then getting one where it say where he said, don't worry about Christ said it, where he said he asked, how does the birds of the air eat? You know what I mean? To show you that the Lord, he gonna feed you nonetheless. You know what I mean? Are you gonna be hungry some days? You might be hungry some days, but guess what? You're hungry and you're still gonna keep your integrity. You understand? You ain't gonna act like the so-called oppressor, because when you act like this, it's telling them when you act like this because of your belly, what are you telling the oppressor?
So like you're telling the oppressor, you know what I mean, that you'll do anything, you know what I mean, for food. You know what I mean? You basically he's in control then, because as long as he provide the food, that's the direction you're heading in. So
that's it. So that is it. Once you show that I can control you with your belly, I know it's just a matter of finding your price.
Right.
And he sees that these, you know what I mean, these Jamaican prices is what?
High.
No. 2 pieces of chicken. He see that all he had to do is to get you to do whatever he wants is 2 pieces of chicken.
Yeah, can.
You understand? Like there's a price. And you're gonna have to show him there's no price that will make me act or in any way against my brother or my sister. There's no price that's going to make me go against my brother or my sister. There's none. I cannot be bought. I'm not a what? I'm not a traitor to my people. I will never be a traitor to my people. Therefore, you cannot buy me out to say anything against my people. You understand? You cannot. All right, you find that one?
Can. This is Matthew 6 and verse 26. Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns.
You understand? Like we have to understand this good. And this is going to help you control your belly. And that's why it's good for the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement teach you how to what? Strengthen your spirit. Strengthen your mind. You understand? When you're hungry, you understand? Fasting works. You know what I mean? When done the correct way, it works. It strengthens you.
Right.
Right? Read on.
Can. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them not much better than they.
And the Most High, he does what?
Feedeth them.
He feed them birds.
Right.
The Lord feed them birds, Ark. He feeds them birds. And Christ is saying what?
Can. Are ye not much better than they?
And he's telling you, he's making a statement. He said, are you not more better than these birds?
Right.
Better than them birds, Ark. Better than them birds, Aqua. Read on.
Okay, that was it for verse 26.
Right? And just check and see any more to it. Right? And hear me, and Christ, and this is out of Christ's mouth. Christ is trying to help you with what? Getting what? We're trying to give you.
So discipline.
And courage. You understand? Because you know what I mean, it take courage, you understand, to know that I ain't have this, can't get this, we can only eat this amount. And it's going to take discipline too. You understand? Read on.
Verse 27. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature?
You understand? Which of you could make yourself what?
Gain weight or fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Which of you could do that? You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like how we talk. Which of you could, you know what I mean? You just, you know what I mean, wake up one day and be rich. Ain't happening, just so.
Okay.
You understand? That ain't happening. Read.
And why take ye thought for raiment?
And why take you what? Thought for what? For raiment.
Raiment.
Like you want to dress in Versace, Gucci. And where's your shoe? Balenciaga. You understand? Like he said, don't take thought for your clothes. Why? Because some of us think that taking thought for your clothes is going to do what? It's going to give us some type of what? Self-confidence. That's what we're looking for.
Right.
That's what we're looking for. See, you'll go sell drugs. You'll go steal. You'll go rob.
Right.
Just with Gucci. You'll go, you know what I mean, sign some record deal. You understand? That's going to have you berate your sisters and your brothers. You go and do it. You have no type of integrity, no type of morals, none. Because you want to be rich. Read on.
Consider the lilies of the field.
Right now, consider the lilies of the field. So you're going into what? To grass, into flowers.
Right.
They grow. But where getting the food, the nutrients, and the water from? How it growing? You didn't plant that lily. You plant the grass outside. You didn't plant that. That big tree you see outside the yard. You plant that.
Yeah.
You understand? You go ahead.
So that, you just see a tree start spring up out of nowhere more while. And that tree end up be a tree that you rely on, you know what I mean, to even eat food sometime, you know what I mean? But you did have no input in how that tree grow. You understand? So that,
but the Lord did though. That's what he's trying to get to understand. So we don't have to be like this. We do not have to be like, and there's so many videos showing it. So many videos showing, you know what I mean, our nakedness. Let me put it like that. So many videos showing me nakedness. Like this is, you know what I mean, this is just ridiculous. You understand? Like, look at this. Like, this is just ridiculous. You understand?
I
ain't that's right.
So like somebody pass out right there. So
I'm telling you.
Probably can't take the commotion and the heat and, you know what I mean, the long wait and just collapse. You understand?
Yeah. So, No, you're right. You're right, Doc. Can't do it. You understand? And now we're going to segue into what's going on the other side of the earth. And our people, you clearly see we're not prepared. What's going to happen if this will go into the Third World War?
Right.
We're going to start unaliving each other for food. The way things looking. Because it's going there. It's going there. If this will breaks out, yeah, I mean, when I say on a large scale, you understand, where now your gas prices going up by about you know what I mean, hundreds of dollars. So if your gas prices go up, what goes up next? What goes up next once the gas prices go up? Yes. Once the gas and oil prices go up.
Food price, you know what I mean? Basic commodities, you know what I mean? Everything gone up.
Yeah. And who knows if the shipping gonna get, you know what I mean, messed up. So now your shelves gonna start looking what? Bare. And before you know it, you squaring off with your granny, with your grandfather, with your aunt. For food, we're gonna have to learn to take care of each other. They're gonna have to be like 2 pieces of chicken. Who cares? It's just a normal day. You understand? This is just a normal day. Keep your integrity. You understand? Come on.
We have to learn how to share in time like that. That 2 pieces of chicken we have fight over now might have to share for you and more than, you know what I mean, just you. So
that's it.
Now is the time. Now is the time. We have to go, you know what I mean, like Cap bring out, not live by bread alone, but you know what I mean, live by the word of the Most High and understand that brotherhood and sisterhood more important, you know what I mean, than with belly. You understand?
That's it.
Because the segment where we are going right now is the Iran and Israel war we are going over in the Middle East now, and Iran is already threatening to block off the Strait of Hormuz. Is that the name?
Yeah. Strait of Hormuz.
And when that block off shipping, you know what I mean, the shipping thing get messed up. And when the shipping thing get messed up, it go back to cap point again. Food price go up. Things are scarce. So when we are got a bomb rush and a fight for food in them time.
Yeah, you go ahead. I just playing it in the background there, so people could see. You know what I mean?
That was it.
Why we fighting for food in our line? This is what's going on here. The Lord fitting to free you. The Lord fitting to free you. You understand? Where there's no more, oppression, none whatsoever. You understand? Like we gonna have to start to look out and care for each other. First step, come on, the Christian church.
Right.
Come on, the Christian church. Open your Bible, start to read it.
That's right.
And see what the Lord's saying. Like, for example, let's get a few scriptures on this.
Oh God.
Amen.
We want first.
Anyone, you pull it, bring anyone, because anyone going first right now.
We have the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 4, and it says,
you know what, Salakia, give me where Christ said, kingdom against kingdom. You understand? Right? Give me what Christ said. And we're gonna see. You know what I mean? If you're following these, you know what I mean, this war that's taking place right now, you're gonna see that both sides trying to push the propaganda. Right?
Right.
Don't care about it. When I say don't care about the propaganda, meaning the two sides is not your people. You have nothing to do with it. You understand? All you should see is that they're in the Middle East fighting, and the Bible talks about the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and it's in the Middle East. And the Lord is bringing all them nations in. You understand? China and Russia said they're going to get in, they're going to step in if America and, of course, Israel and, of course, the Europeans go and bomb Iran. They're all going to be in it. And then the Yemenis right down there. You understand? The Houthis, they're right down there. You understand? Then you have Africa, not too far away. They all gonna come into this valley and fight. You understand? The Lord know how to, you know what I mean? Like he know how to like plan. Like you think you planning, you have a nice plan for your future. You say, you know what I mean, this year, we're gonna have a child, and we're gonna put this aside, this, that, the other. And you think, you know what I mean, your plan is the plan. When guess what? Somebody else above have other plans for you. You understand? This oppressor thought he was going to be in his kingdom forever. He think he could fight to hold his position, his seat in his kingdom forever. But let's see what Christ is saying. Read.
God, this is the book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
For what?
For nation shall rise against nation.
You have the Republic of Iran. And then you have the Israelis. You understand? The so-called Jewish man who is not the Jew. He is just Europeans that were implanted on that land. You hear what the other white man was saying? That land was promised to about 3 other nations. You understand? And they were put in that region to rise above the Arabs, to make sure them Arabs never, ever think about coming up to do what? To rule the earth. You understand? Never. Right? Read on.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. You understand? You have the Arab kingdom, and then you have what? The Christian or the Crusaders. You understand? Like it's so much things you could take from this, because you clearly see what? You know what I mean? The Persians, who are what? More what? Shia Muslims. You understand? And then you have the Israelis, who is what? Judaism, or you have them what? Zionists, or them Christians, who claim that Islam is the worst thing the earth could ever have on the planet. And then the Arabs is like Christianity is the worst thing that they could ever have on the planet. And they're gonna fight. They're gonna do. And then we're gonna see who have, you know what I mean, the God that's in this Bible on this side. We'll see. We'll see if Islam have it. We'll see if Allah is supposed to follow Allah, or if he's supposed to follow a Christian Session Roger, or this whole Zionist movement. We'll see. Read.
And there shall be famine and pestilence.
And there shall be what?
Famines.
And
pestilence.
Meaning diseases and what? Food gonna be hard to come by. Oh, them Jamaicans and you know, I mean, them birds in the Caribbean, we know about food being hard to come by. Don't talk with them Palestinians right now. This earth is going into World War, and it's going to be what? It's going to be hard for food. The Palestinians right now going to get food and then being unalive. All that is bringing in what? The wars. You understand? All that is part of war. They're going to tell you. War is you know what I mean, it's not nice. But guess what? This is nice for you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I want to say nice, meaning you have never received justice for what has happened to you. And what you're seeing right now is the Lord fitting to bring justice on this earth. His so-called Jewish man, he had a play in slavery. And his plane slavery was to insure them boats. You understand? Right? The Arabs, they took some of us in captivity too. The white man, of course, you know, Britain, America, Europe, they took us into slavery also too. None of these nations paid for what they did.
Right.
None of them paid for what they did. Ain't no sweat.
So that
go to church. Come on.
If I may, you know what I mean? And sometimes our people want to feel sympathy for the Palestinians, see,
Yeah.
and the Arabs over there because of what the Jewish man is doing. But you have to remember that the Arabs, them have a part to play in our captivity as well. You know what I mean? They were the ones who made the boats. So the Jewish man was the insurer of the slave trade, basically the financer. You finance it, you know what I mean? But don't think that the Arabs are innocent. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They have put that and start pray for Palestine and all them things that because they had a hand to play too. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
So
right. That's right, Doc. You understand? That's right. Right? You seen it still? Or it moved?
Something went wrong. It has a floating player turned on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Salaki.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Lord trying to tell you what's taking place. Now let's go to Revelation.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 4.
Go to the red horse just for time.
Yeah, concert. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Yeah, you go to church Sunday, and your pastor going to tell you to what? Let's pray for peace. Why? Because he don't want that money to stop coming in.
Right.
He don't want this kingdom to fall. Come on.
And pray for the fake Jews then.
Yeah. Yeah. And pray for the both sides, because you know what them Christians is. God loves everybody. You understand?
Right.
But the Bible is telling you what is this red horse going to do?
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
And it was going to take peace from the earth. And there's no peace on the earth right now. They want to laugh at you in some line, right? Trying to get some chicken. Well, we'll see who will have the last laugh.
Right.
We'll see. Now we turn the news on and we clearly see your people can't sit at the table and make deals. You can't stop wars from taking place. You understand? You can't. The world is in turmoil right now because of these heathens. You understand? Like you can't live in peace. But then you laughing at us when we fighting in line for some chicken. The white man, Donald Trump, went to make a deal with the Iranian, right? And was slow walking the Iranians into a deal. And then before you know it, the Israelis going behind and starting a war. And then pretending like they're the victim.
Yeah.
You understand? Like they deal treacherously with each other. You understand? Why? Because that red horse is on the earth right now.
Right.
That red horse is not going to allow them to go sit down in some room and just make peace. The red horse is what? Taking peace from the earth right now. Read on.
And they Salakia, and that they shall kill one another.
And they shall what?
Salakia, and that they should kill one another.
Well, let's say over 500 then on one side, and about 24 dead, 300 injured on the other side.
Right.
So that's a total of what? 524 and a good few thousand injured. Why? Because I'm not on any side.
Salakia, sir, knowing the oppressor, you know what I mean, and the Israeli side, them probably, you know what I mean, deflate the figures are probably more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably
It's
even way more.
Yeah, it's gonna come out though. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. I mean, all black people had to do is just sit back, read the Bible, run out them churches.
Right.
You understand? And let's actually start serving, you know. Let's actually start doing what in that Bible. We could do it, brothers and sisters. We can do what the Lord put in that Bible for us to do. We can't do it. Christ came from Joseph and Mary, meaning Christ was a man like me and you. Right. You understand? He was not demigod. He was a man like me and you, flesh and blood, like me and you. Christ wasn't God. Christ was a man, a black man. You understand? Who came here and show us how to go about being good Israelites.
Right.
You understand? Christ said what? Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is. Christ was perfect and he was a man. So guess what? We can't be perfect. You understand? To hell with the Christian church that giving you excuses. You see what's coming here right now. War is on this earth. The red horse is loose. And that red horse is letting what? Is bringing death and destruction in your pathway. And your leaders, your preacher, he's not telling you that on Sunday, which means he's not even preparing you for the day Christ return. He's not. Read on.
So and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
A great what?
A great sword.
Great sword. So now you're seeing what? Right. Rockets flying, the Fatah. The Hellfire missile.
Right.
What do you call them?
Nuclear bomb, sir.
Yeah, that nuclear bomb, that Moab. Bunker buster.
Hypersonic missile.
Yeah, hypersonic missile. That's the sword that's going to be what? Dragging over the earth right now.
Right.
Russia doing their thing with Ukraine. You have a civil war right now in Sudan. Right? And you have wars going on here. Them Chinese better prepare themselves. You understand? Because they're next. They're next on the block.
Right.
Right? Read on.
Salakia, that was it, sir.
That was it. Go to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Go to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And I think we go end there on that one. Go to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. Let's see if I get a little more on this.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 2, and it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right. And when you go do your research, you'll see the Valley of Jehoshaphat is in the Middle East. And the Lord is bringing all the nations in that valley. Read.
and will plead with them there for my people and
He's
for
going
my
to
heritage.
He's going to plead with them for my people.
Right.
You understand? Why? Because the world, the earth has forgotten about God's chosen people. They've forgotten about us. They make no mention about us. They tell us, forget about slavery. Move on. Lace your boots up. You understand? You're no longer in slavery. But you ain't give us justice, though.
God.
You understand? You ain't give us justice. And then we acting like people who have not received justice. Why? Because we are victims. You understand? Acting like victims.
God.
Right? And we blame ourselves.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
So like somebody who went through trauma and, you know what I mean, never get proper closure. You know what I mean? That person are going to live a life, you know what I mean, reflecting that trauma. You know what I mean? That is what kept basically I tell you. You know what I mean? We never get justice for the atrocity that reach us over here. So, of course, you're going to see we in a lines at KFC, you know what I mean, behave in a particular way over some chicken. You know what I mean? Our life reflect the trauma that we went through over here. You know, but I know our fault, like what Papa said, is the fault that is oppressor. You know what I mean? But the most I prepare the perfect, you know what I mean, battlefield for our oppressor and him enemies and him allies go and destroy each other because we never got our justice. And the most I bring our justice to this earth to World War III. You know what I mean? So now is the time for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I mean? Our people, the children of Israel. You know what I mean? Find the UPK. Come learn how you're supposed to operate in times like these, because guess what I want? Soon you're not gonna have KFC for fight over. You're gonna cheer that piece of chicken. You know what I mean? You're gonna share that piece of chicken. You're gonna share that one dumpling, that flour. Because, you know what I mean? Tragedy has come to this earth, but it's good. It's good that it's coming. Then it's good because now we're gonna get our justice. We just have to bear it. Bear this, you know what I mean? What is coming forth for a little while. You know what I mean? Like we have to bear, you know what I mean? Coming out of Egypt, you know what I mean? During the time of Moses, we have to bear it, but we have to get through. And the only way to get through that is to be inside here in the ISUP and command in General Yana. You know what I mean? Listen to the priests and the prophets, you understand? So
no, that's right. Because he's saying he's going to plead for us, right? Because nobody pleaded for us in the United Nations. Nobody plead for us at the ICC or the ICJ. Nobody plead for us. So the Lord had to come and plead for us now. If it means sending this earth into war. And he's saying they're going into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Read on.
And will plead with them there for my people and my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations.
Who they have what?
Scattered among the nations.
We scattered among the nations. And what did they do to our land?
Parted our land, parted my land.
So now you have the Israelis and the Palestinians done sharing your land. The Lord is coming. Your father is coming, Israel. And he's going to deal with these nations. He's going to deal with them, you know what I mean, so good that they're going to know why he's going to deal with them this way. And it's because of us, the real children of Israel. The earth is not giving us that respect. You know what I mean?
God.
Like to this day, you telling me we still not hearing on the news that they're not the real Jews, they're just Europeans. The real Jews is the black. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that they're not the real Jews, that black people are the real Jews. Ain't no sweat. You forget about us. Come on.
So like, I hear the general say something like him say, white people hate blacks and Hispanics more than how them love America. And it is almost like you can take that, copy that, and paste that on a world scale, because even though everybody is angry at the fake Jews for all the atrocities that them doing in Palestine, nobody want to come out and say, oh, by the way, you are not the real Jews. The real Jews are black people. You know what I mean? So it's almost, them hate the fact that the fake Jews, them are oppress them. You know what I mean? And oppress the world. You know what I mean? But to them, they're better than black people knowing who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, so
Now you're right. I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, and all black people have to do right now is just sit back. That same piece of chicken he was fighting for, you understand? You want to sit up in a line for? You go home, break that down with your family, sit back and watch the Lord do his work. You understand? And soon you ain't going to be fighting for no chicken. You understand? Soon we ain't going to be fighting for anything. We're going to be sitting back and watching the oppressor fight. And die.
Right.
You understand? And anybody died for that whole KFC incident?
Not that I know of, sir.
That's good. That's good then. We're gonna sit back and watch these people die.
Right.
You understand? The ones who want to claim us, the ones who want to take our land, we're gonna sit back and watch them.
Right.
You understand? You know what I mean? Anything else you want to bring out?
Nah, sir. That's too hard. You know what I mean?
That's it. You know what I mean? Black men, Hispanics, and First Nation
of
people.
course, we have some more scriptures to do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we for sure. I think
Right.
we could come back next week again with this. I don't think this is gonna simmer down. You know what I mean? I'll be shocked if this simmer down the way they're going.
Sir.
You know what I mean? The way they're going, brother. You know what I mean? America is going to get in this. Oh boy, we're gonna have a ton of material for next week. You know what I mean? So black people, you tune in to hear what the prophet's going to say. Tune into that Monday night show with Commander Jerry Hanna, the real Commander Jerry Hanna. The Black News, Black Watch. Tune into it, man. Monday nights, you know what I mean, with Commander Jerry Hanna and the generals. You know what I mean? Tune into it. You know what I mean? You don't have to go to church, trust me. The church is not preparing you for what's coming on this earth. It's not.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It ain't preparing you. But Commander Jerry Hanna will. He's going to prepare you for what's coming on this earth. You understand? You know what I mean? With that, I'm gonna pass it, you know what I mean, over to you to you know what I mean, to get them the, you know what I mean, the outro.
Yeah, so gun. All right, so to order to cap again for another excellent breakdown. You know what I mean? This is the Breakdown podcast, where we break down the strongholds holding back the children of Israel here in Jamaica, Trinidad, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America. And with that, shalom.
Shalom, warrior.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom.
A one with them gal favorite. You know the thing come down already. From the UPK and I building, just I the gal them and I the liquor. She know I'm me no friend of mine. She was skin out on the better mind. She have good brain plus a better mind. Me say who for body that she say yes a mine. She come raise the Beretta 9. Me make she come we ahead of time. She get good gear plus a better night. Me say who for body that never mind we not pick up. But blood clot killers go ask me cap. Thing I attack me boss, me counselor. General, yeah, and I'm me done, you don't figure. This them man, they get spread out for that. Hey boy, cross the line, no all idiot. Make some bumbo clap, go shot, let off in ya. The truth never change, no care, much time elapse. The work up routine, but dark, we not relax. Me general set the thing and it a grow. Some fool never loyal, they never true to the thing and it a show. Me know a couple things for sure. I pack a gal but never touch her hoe. Which church boy can make a touch a dog? She want gunman down in a she Hey, she know I'm be no friend of mine. She wants skin out on the better mind. She have good brain plus a better mind. Me say who for body that she say yes a mine. She want real killer, the one west nigga. Violate the Akia man, squeeze sugar. She don't want no house nigga. She want a feel nigga. She want a stay bigger. Real killer. Boy, watch your mouth when they talk. I'm minded the angel of boarding craft. Them fool, they no firm, them soft. One west never bow to no holding calf. Chain pa me neck does a spark when me pass. Them think is a rolling calf. Boy run up, man, fool him glad. Jump, get up, run like hold him fast. Pass over. Me nah jump, but still me nah sober. The rum pack a punch and sting just like cobra. At 3,000 years we cross over. Most type power not bumbo clad phobia. Me take a oath too late to start over. I'm a damn Shabbat man, UPK soldier. Me take a oath too late to start over. I'm a damn Shabbat. She know